Oh boy, I think we finally found it. I think we finally found the Eye of Terror. No, wait a second. I think that's just a mammoth butt. But anyways, welcome back. It's been quite a while for Gojira to appear on Gojira Gaming, the channel. Um, Today we're gonna have a look at the early access Queen and the Crone DLC for for Total War Warhammer 2. And I know this channel's mainly featured Med 2, but we're gonna be getting a good variety here pretty soon. I'm going to be posting mostly early access on this for the next few days. And I just want to know what you guys think of it. I hope you enjoy it because I'm definitely going to enjoy it myself. And let's hop right into it. So, Queen and Crone brings in, of course, Regiment of Renown and new units for Dark Elves and High Elves. It also, in the same patch, it brings back the 30th anniversary Regiment of Renown for Chaos, Beastmen, Wood Elves, etc. Norsca is brought back with all of their Regiment of Renown, of course. And today we're going to be playing Norsca versus Chaos. My opponent is Sekarma from Total Brohammer. So Total Brohammer is also another Total War, smaller Total War channel with two partners, so Sekarma and Jontaun, who run the channel. And they're both very good players. They know what they're talking about. They put up some good content, and they're just funny guys to be around. So I definitely recommend checking out their channel for show. But before we get into all this nonsense, we'll have to say all of this stuff is subject to change. The stats, the abilities, the what have you. Just have to say that because it may not be the same in the final build. So don't completely expect everything to be exactly the same when you get your hands on it as well. And that goes for all the replays that I will be showing you. Alrighty guys, let's hop right into it. Let's hop into the builds. We're doing a 1v1. So let's start off with my outer flanks here. I brought some Norscan Ice Wolves. They're anti-skirmish unit, and the fact that they're all wolves or all hound type units are naturally anti-skirmish units with their high speed, and usually you bring them with poison. These guys, however, have a slowing effect, which is not as versatile as poison, but it's still very good for slowing down those archer units or missile cav that you want to tie up and get rid of as fast as possible. They also have a missile resistance, and they cause fear. They are a smaller unit than normal hounds, but they have much better stats, such as weapon strength almost by 20. Weapon strength is, 42 to 22, 26 and 19 to 26 and 17. So they do have higher weapon strength and a little higher defense. The Marauders here, compared to the Chaos Marauder counterpart, these guys have the edge because of their Norse Rage, which is leadership on the first, physical and leadership second, and then melee attack and the two previous on the third. We have our Berserkers that are well known for heavy hitting. They're especially heavy hitting for medium to light armored infantry. They'll just tear them apart with all their Frenzy and Berserk, which is an upgraded Norscan Rage. They have very low armor, no shield block chance, but they also have poor armor piercing, and that's where these big Ninja Turtle looking foos come in. They, as in the Fimir Warriors, have armor sundering, magical attacks, and armor piercing weapon strength. So they can hit hard to armored targets, and they also make the armored targets easier to hit for my Berserkers and other units as well with the armor sundering, which gives minus 30 armor for 10 seconds. And that happens whenever they get hit, So it procs pretty easily. Marauder Champions, great weapons. So these guys have armor piercing, high armor, decent leadership for sure. They have the Norscan Rage ability, and they're generally pretty sturdy. They don't do the best in tiering, going up against other elite tier infantry, but they will definitely get the job done. Now we're going into our back line. Fimir Balefiend. Sorry guys for the background noise. The Fimir Balefiend of Shadows here. I'm bringing him with 3 spells. Melkot's Mystifying Miasma, Enfeebling Foe, and of course the Penumbrial Pendulum, which I struggle with saying every time. And of course we have the Legend 27 himself, Wulfric the Wanderer, the Slayer of Champions, the Hunter of all that is unholy and holy alike. He has Hunter of Champions, his ability, which is a big Lord debuff, and his Sea Fang, which is a wind spell with his little boat on it called Sea Fang. Yeah, self-explanatory. Chaos Warhounds with poison on each side for Sekarma, along with Marauder Horsemen Throne Axes. Armor Piercing would do very well against my heavily armored infantry and mammoths. Chaos Marauders, inferior versions to mine, pretty much. Mirror Guard, the new Regiment of Renown, or not new Regiment of Renown, rather reintroduced. High Leadership, immune to Psychology, very good armor, 75 in unit, very good unit. Weird Spawn, Armor Sundering, Unbreakable. They cause fear as well. They're very low armor though. You might see that come into play. Then we have our Chosen, this is one of the staple units for Chaos, just big, beefy, crazed Chosen of the Gods, 120 armor, 93 leadership, which is pretty good. Very good, actually. Better than most lords, in fact. 60 melee defense, 46 melee attack, and a whopping almost 8,000 HP pool, which is pretty damn good for a 60-man unit. Next up, the Summoners of Rage. So these guys are a lightning-imbued, magically imbued Dragon Ogre Regiment of Renown. They have, excuse me guys, magical attacks, armor piercing, and anti-large weapon damage. And they do indeed have a bound spell called Chain Lightning, which comes from the lore of Heavens, I believe, if I'm not a total dunce, which I am, but I think I remember that correctly. Now we have the Slayer of Kings for Archaon. Archaon, this is like his staple go-to ability now, because it does so much damage when he procs it, especially combined with Flaming Sword of Ruin. But the issue is that it only affects his weapon strength and not his melee attack. So if you can somehow mitigate his melee attack, then his weapon strength will not be as scary as it would be if he had his natural 78 melee attack. That being said, it's pretty scary for Norsca, because if you bring regen units, he will burn them alive with Kindle Flame and Flaming Sword of Ruin. Speaking of burning people alive, we have the Swords of Chaos, almost look like Forsaken mounted, heavily armored on Chaos Steeds. They do have 120 armor with a 50%, or no, that's a 30% block chance, missile block chance. Fire attacks, and Guardian, which gives them Lord 18% physical resistance, which used to be a ward save, I believe. Straight ward save, which means all types of damage. And now we're going to see how our lines collide here. Give that a go. So straight on these two Marauder units, mine should come up on top, and the plan is to try to beat up his line with the Berserkers combined with the Fimir. So we are going to see a lot of colliding here. The Armor Sundering Chaos Spawn coming in, they should tear up these Marauder champions fairly easy, especially with the Chosen reinforcing that. The Fimir coming in, combined with the Berserkers, should tear through these Marauders with great weapons with ease. My wolves standing there stationary like doofuses. Oh, here comes my ship. And he's smacking in. Did some good damage to the Mirror Guard, I think. And let's go check on that. So the Mirror Guard, I've taken quite a bit of damage from that, combined with the Fimir and what have you. Wolfric is doing good at cycle charging in and out of the line, trying to stabilize this middle area. I'm going to put down another spell, the Pendulum from my Fimir Bale Fiend here. He did catch out my Norscan Ice Wolves with these Swords of Chaos, and they will just get torn apart fairly quickly. They're not meant to go up against that, they're just meant to screen against missiles and go up against other Chaos Hounds, because they're just a superior version. They just are. Our Marauder Hunters have done pretty well for themselves here. They've been shooting in at these Dragon Ogres, putting in some little steady DPS, but not too much, but definitely helping out the fight here. They are going to get caught out by these Swords of Chaos, though. They do have skirmish mode on, which is my bad, so they are going to get run down like the dogs they are. Wolfric is doing okay against his Chaos Spawn. I broke his left flank, and he broke my middle, but on this other flank is still kind of contested. My Framir are routing now from the Summoner's Rage combined with Archaon and his passive, not passive buffs, but just magical buffs with Flaming Sword of Ruin and what have you. It looks like they the Summoners whiffed on their Vortex spell over there, kind of hitting nothing or catching the edge of one of my guys. His Marauder Horsemen, though, don't seem to be firing that much at Wulfric, and Wulfric's running free with a fat HP pool of 8,000. And with that much HP on a Mammoth left in the late game, that can't be too good. It looks like Chosen are finally getting wrapped up by these Framir and Berserker combination. The Summoners of Rage are not going to have it, though. They're going to put some serious DPS on these Framir Warriors once they get a hold of them. They are kind of surrounded right now. It's going to be the main issue. Wulfric's trying to put the hurt down on Archaon, but Archaon is he's getting knocked over. And he's standing back up, and he's probably going to get knocked over again. Oh, he's casting, I believe, Flaming Sword. But that will not help him in the duel against Wulfric. That will only help him against Throg or anything that has regen, really. Because Wulfric will just Enfeebling Foe will not... The Balefiend will Enfeebling Foe him. And Wulfric will just debuff him even more. So his weapon strength don't really matter at that point. We have some Chaos Marauders who came back. They're coming back to rear charge some of my own Marauders and Balefiends, Framir and the Balefiend. The Marauder Berserkers are holding on tight, fighting Archaon. Archaon will just dice him up. So I do have my Marauder Hunter Javelins coming back. These Swords of Chaos are looking a little dicey as they're getting just picked apart little by little. In each engagement they go in, they're getting picked apart. Archaon still stuck in melee, so I can pretty much hit him whenever I want because he's on foot, which I think ended up being a poor choice in this particular matchup. But these hounds are holding out good against the Swords of Chaos, which is really surprising. But now Archaon's just getting gooned, and without enough of the ammo left on the Horseman, it's going to be hard to deal with Wulfric and all of his HP on his Giant Mammoth. And we're just going to keep debuffing Archaon, as you can see. And so that combination of Enfeebling Foe and Hunter of Champions is a very, very strong combination, I feel, right now. Because you can just keep a Lord from doing really any damage to you seriously with those two combinations. And then deal lots of damage back to them because you're also minusing their melee defense as well. He's going to charge in gloriously into my Marauders with his Horsemen, who are basically full health. My Marauders, all haggard and beat up, will rout, or at least some of them will. But they're called champions. Look at them run. Coming in for another charge. But with Archaon dead, if he dies, this could be huge. So the Balefiend is, again, we're just stacking. So he has 44 melee attack and 33 melee defense right now, which is incredibly low for a Lord. And he's 1v1ing the magic armor-piercing, armor-sundering Balefiend. And I think if Archaon routs here, it's game over. Army losses will kick in. And there he goes, and it ends. It ends right there, brethren. And that is a GG to Sekarma for sure. I think this is one of his first games. Or one of his few of his first games. And we went on to do a series, so you'll probably see more of our games up on his channel, Total WARHAMMER, because I don't think I saved at least 2 of them. I know I didn't save. And hope you guys enjoyed that. There's going to be a bit more of this coming for sure. Probably some Dark Elf High Elf stuff, some more Norsca, some more Regiment Renowns. Glorious deliciousness like that. And definitely more Botet eventually. The Botet dream is still alive. I'm keeping it alive, and eventually I hope we're going to host a tournament on it at some point, and I hope you guys stay tuned for that. So I hope you guys enjoyed it today. You can take a look at the kills for yourself. Wulfric did pretty good. Archaon did pretty good. He was chewing through some Marauders and stuff. I don't think he did anything too important, or just kind of the key in that game. That and him not being able to shut down Wulfric with the Summoners or the Marauder Horsemen. Alrighty, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. You smash the like button, smash the subscribe button if you wish it, and I hope you guys have a good day. So catch you later. See ya.